Hi Anti-Society, welcome back to the Antisocial Planet. Today we are getting into some more Tower of God Webtoon, and we finished off the Revolution Road storyline of kind of the first part of getting onto this hell train, because the majority of us did not get on the hell train. It's just Wangnan and Yin that are there right now, and of course Rachel and her group, but the majority of them still need to get on that train somehow. And we did a bit of a time shift where we skipped ahead and then went back to a previous floor test, and it looks like maybe we're going to be sticking with that for a little bit, and then maybe going back to more of present day. We're dealing with a little bit of tension within the group because we have a lot of stuff going on with Bomb right now and his powers and abilities and his behavior, honestly, at the hell train before, and how he very recklessly went after Rachel and very scarily went after Rachel. It's terrifying. There seems to be a little bit of discomfort in the wake of that between the group, but we'll see if we get some of the direct aftermath of that now that we've got a bit of a jump back in the timeline, and see how he has adapted since then. That might also contribute to why some of the members of the group are like a little bit unsteady around Bomb. All right, new test, which I get that this is probably going to be more of a let's develop some of the characters directly after the previous events, because we know that they passed. We know that they've made it to the 36th floor, so I'm assuming we're going to be focusing more on the aftermath of the fact that they just went through all of that stuff trying to get on the hell train and dealing with Rachel and Daniel and Cassino, and now they're stuck back here going the slow way. Anyone who giggles just makes me very uncomfortable. Whenever I'm reading one of these chapters and it's like, this person giggled, I'm like, that's uncomfy. Don't do that. It'll not be easy. You're going to get wrecked. They're really testing his patience in these chapters of being like, stay put, stay quiet, because that is not his strong suit. But you know what? He's doing a great job. I like how this person's so tall you can't even see their head in this panel. Oh yeah, he's not as cute as he may seem. Also the fact that the size difference, I was just saying this person's so tall they got caught off in the panel. And then you have Rock. Does he have like super expanding clothes that they just fit him at all sizes? Did he get tired of having to change in and out? Because he used to have the armor with the cape and stuff, but he had to change out of it because he was too chibi. Just the screams like, ah! See, on the rampage, he's like, yes, I finally get to be part of some of the action. Are they all just waiting around? And they're just like, Rock's got this. He needs to blow off some steam. He's had to test his patience a lot and not participate in the tests, so let him have his moment. Aw, but I can't be a burden to you. Sweetie, it's all right. You don't think? Do we know anything at this point? Especially given his power set? I don't know, we've never been here before. Maybe we don't leave him alone. I get that Khun's still on watch, but still. I don't like I heard voices and now my head hurts. That makes me uncomfy. It is interesting. Does he want more power? I mean, I guess because up to this point, he's I want to be with Rachel. Single-minded goal. That's all he wanted, all he needed. He was good. Right? But then now that he has been told by Rachel that I would rather be dead than be with you, he's gonna have to rethink this. And I've talked about this a while back. I was like, hey, at some point, Bomb's gonna have to figure out what he wants separate from Rachel. He's gonna have to figure out what his purpose is, what's motivating him, without it involving Rachel as part of the equation. And I feel like this is starting it. It's easy if someone just tells him, oh, you want power, and he's okay. Just latching on to the next thing that's easiest, because the alternative is to be like unmoored, right? But I don't think he does. I don't think he wants power. Are we holding someone by their head? Rock, please. Is it the guy who said this was going to be easy? Is he hiding somewhere? Hello, random person? Or are you the person that we were looking for? Okay, so he's been shielding himself. So he's still shielding himself, but Bomb's gonna figure it out. It's Bomb. He's gonna be fine. Yep. I love the drawing of his face. I'm like, shock. And also the movement. Yeah, he noticed. Yep. I guess it must be really unnerving to anyone who is outside of Bomb's situation, right? This is what he does. Also, be careful though. Don't exert yourself. Also, maybe don't use your power because it's unstable, right? We've established this. Torn apart, metaphorically, but I don't know how metaphorically. Just, you know. Ooh, that's scary. Partly it could just be like training. It could be like instinctual, but also there's some kind of entity inside of you, and maybe we'd be worried about that. Yeah. Good luck, team. Don't push him. Don't do it. I'm worried about the fact that we can't see his eyes and he's panting. And I'm like, be careful, please. He didn't. He's just reacting on instinct at this point. Okay, so it's not going to be Shinsu, but like, how much? Which just makes me worried, right? To be like, how much can he withstand? Because he doesn't necessarily know that, or is cueing into what they're telling him. Is he going to try something different, or is he just going to keep pulling more power and throwing it at him and seeing if that works? Because that is what we tried last time and it went badly. Maybe we don't this time. He will be fine in terms of this conflict. He'll be less fine in the aftermath. The aftermath is what I'm scared of. heck of a punch, though. Dang, that was not you regulating your Shinsu whatsoever. Yeah, that is also true. We are not seeing the external representation of his ability, which is worrisome. He already reached out for more power, though, right? Maybe this is like the next level after that. Oh boy, I'm stressed. Not about the fighting, but about our sweet darling and how he's gonna do after all this. But he's not responding to them calling to him. His friends. Seems to be another voice calling to him, but yeah, I would also be ellipses if I saw that. Yeah, he is not a fisherman, is he? Oh dear, our sweet darling. And then back again. That does give some context for why they're like, hey, we're a little bit scared about his power. Because it's not just what he was doing when they were trying to stop Rachel from getting on the hell train. It's more now, right? Especially from Khun's perspective. If I don't know what to do with this power and what the extent of it is going to be. Because he saw that moment. He's like, we can't even see the needle or the thorn. What do you mean he can have that reaction time, that power, and be fighting in that way when that is not like his class type and that's not the type of fighting we've seen from him before? The argument of food, a very important part of this whole discussion. Y'all could just order your own food, probably. I don't like that. I don't like that your head aches and then stuff happens. Sir, I don't know, can we talk to someone? I know I don't like Miss Sophia, but she's probably the closest we have to somebody who would know, right? Oh dear. I feel like this is only going to become more and more of a problem. Also, the fall, nobody caught him. He face planted. Is his face okay? Oh, we have another bunny girl? It looks a lot like her, but not quite. I think that's not a good sign. Yeah, we have a problem. I think it's just the black turtle is down again. Oh boy. I don't know, Ruck was like talking about trying to get just his eel bold. Leave him alone. You are most definitely not fine. This isn't about Rachel. It needs to stop being about Rachel, Bomb. We need to move on. It's just a moment later. A moment, though. He was just down. He was just unconscious. Hey, we got the cape outfit back. Let's go. These two together seems like a very chaotic matchup. Be careful, darling. But not actually, not officially. Points for conviction, but it's not gonna work out well for you, especially if you push him. I don't like the fact that your body can barely feel anything. How are you gonna know that you got hurt or that you should stop or pull back? I just feel like he's pushing himself a lot and it's not going to end well. It's like when you're operating on adrenaline and you just keep going and you're not checking in with how you're feeling or how exhausted you are until suddenly your body just cannot do it anymore, right? Which we have him collapsing because his head hurts, but at some point his body's just gonna be like, nope, you're not taking care of it, right? I don't like this either. Cool panel though, with all the ghosting effect and stuff. He doesn't really have a weapon. Dang, the fact that everything's so slow. I can see everything. The mixing though of the two voices, like the internal voice and then his internal monologue, is also scary. Sir, you keep leaving craters everywhere. Have you tried relaxing a bit? Oh, that switch though of you can see the bomb collapses and then Khun's hand. That was a nice line up there. Yeah, he's pushing himself a lot. We're gonna have to have some kind of intervention at some point. Yeah, he feels like this pressure, this loss of time. But I feel like also maybe it's if he just keeps going, then he doesn't have to stop and think about what happened. Right? He doesn't have to stop and think about the fact that Rachel does not want to be with him and would literally do anything to not be with him anymore. And he's going to have to find a different purpose, a different motivation. If he just keeps going, it's physical exhaustion, right? Sometimes you just keep pushing through because you're in the middle of something, you're trying to get something accomplished and you push yourself too far and you don't even realize because you're not checking in with your own physical well-being. It can be the same thing with mental stuff, right? People pushing themselves to do other things or even focus more on the physicality of a task because the alternative is actually spending time in your own head and your own thoughts and your own insecurities and fears and not being able to do that because it's scary, right? It's scary to look at your fears and your insecurities and all of the mental health stuff going on with you and actually analyze it and lean into it so that you can figure out what's going on. So it could be both in this case where I'm just going to keep moving as fast as possible and then I don't have to focus on the physical things that are happening that scare me, the mental things that are happening that scare me, the uncertainty that's scaring me, right? Yeah, also if he exhausts himself and his health is awful and we get to the train, then what do we do when he's on the train? Let's not think about what comes next. Khun, that's not like you at all. How are you unable to think about what comes next? That's your thing. Of course, he's not sharing what the plan is, unless he absolutely has to. I feel like saying that we don't want him to wake up is gonna mean that he wakes up. Oh, so I think it is? Yeah, I feel like Danta is right. Hey, Jinsung, what are you doing here? Unhinged person from Foog? I don't think any of them are actually hinged, to be honest. Name a Foog member that doesn't have some weird stuff going on the mental side. Who are you here to see besides Bomb? Yeah, I feel like it's having the appropriate reaction to all this. The workshop battles did? I will say, for all of my own discomfort about Jinsung, I don't trust him, member of Foog, seems to have lots of stuff going on, right? He does seem oddly protective of Bam. So for whatever that may be, whatever is motivating him, whether that is any kind of actual emotional attachment, whether that is because of the time and energy investment in him, because of the plans that he already has for Bam, right? There are lots of different things that can be motivating him to be like, this is a person that I own, I'm in charge of, and if someone messes with it, I'm going to be upset about it. So I don't know, maybe he can help us raise some hell. I'll take whatever we can get at this point. We're still trying to get our girl back. I hope so. She'd be very helpful in this whole adventure. You definitely cannot trust him. Separating your soul seems bad. It's giving Horcrux. It's giving unhinged. It's giving potential crazy. So maybe we don't do that. People seem like a little bit uncomfortable with the idea of us waking this guy up anyway. And now you're gonna say he's also been messing with chopping up bits of his soul and hiding them around? That seems like he's gonna be more unstable. Oh, is that what the tattoo is related to? Oh, whomst is that? I don't feel like it's the Slayer nominee, but maybe the crown, though, makes me think that it's someone else. The sword? I don't know anymore. We'll find out eventually, probably. Yeah, I'm stressed about Bam. I'm usually stressed about Bam. He always seems to have stuff going on, whether or not it's power or circumstance or the people that he's associating with. But I'm worried about him, especially since he seems to be like running from a more internal struggle. Not only does he have stuff going on in terms of this weapon and this voice that's inside of his head, which is already an issue, right? And it doesn't seem like he's talking to people about it. They don't know what is happening to trigger him collapsing, really, other than him overexerting himself, using his powers and pulling on that. And they're like, oh, that's making him collapse. But I don't think they know about the voice or the headaches that come before that. So the fact that he's not sharing that makes me worried, because it means that the people who could help him are at a disadvantage. They don't have all the information that they need. But I also feel like he's running away from fears and stuff, right? Like, he does not know what to do if he doesn't have Rachel. He doesn't know what to do if he doesn't get to have what he imagined his end result of this journey to be. Like, there doesn't seem to be like an end to this journey in terms of getting to a specific point of being with Rachel, protecting her, having that reconnection, right? I think that he's also struggling with the fact that he has this new power, this internal voice, all this other change that's going on with him just physically, which can also be very scary. It has been like forced upon him in a lot of ways, and he doesn't really have a lot to pull on in terms of past memories and knowing what exactly has happened to him before this point. So that's also scary. Lots of people have plans for him or manipulating him, have created him to be a very specific way because they need that for their own means. And getting to this point where he also, I think, is struggling with the fact that he's gonna have to find a new purpose. He's gonna have to find something that works for him. And the idea that might be because he wants to be powerful, I think, is scary for him, because up to this point, I don't want to be your god. I don't want to be your Slayer nominee. I don't want to be this special person who is going to do all of these things and be in control and be in power. Even within his group, he's been very okay with stepping back and being like, you make the plans, you control what's happening. He's not trying to take leadership of this group, because that's just not who Bam is. He doesn't want to be the leader of even his small group of people, let alone any significant number of them. He doesn't want to represent that. But now he's having to deal with this internal voice that says, actually, you do want that. And whether or not that's actually something that he feels, it is something that he is currently struggling with, about whether or not it is something that he wants. Or if it's, I don't know, it gives him a goal, right? It gives him a purpose when he doesn't have that anymore, right? And not having a purpose or having a direction of like why you're doing things is a very scary place to be. So it might be something that he defaults to just to have something to cling on to while he continues up the tower. It allows him to keep moving forward, right? To say, I want this power, therefore I must continue to go up the tower. I must continue to fight more powerful people. I must continue to progress as someone in the tower because I want that power. It's interesting to see all of these things going on with him more internally, and everything kind of building up to this point where he finally has to actually look at what's happened to him, and whether or not he will, because he's running at the moment, but at a certain point his body's just gonna give up, right? And he's gonna have to start to pull apart what's going on with him. It's scary and stressful, but also inevitable, right? After everything that he's been through and everything that has shifted in the recent history for him, eventually it's going to come to a breaking point where he's just going to have to really look inwardly and analyze who he is and what he wants and what is propelling him forward, because he's a bit lost at sea at the moment. It'll be interesting to see how that works out. If that works out, at least he has his friends around him that are going to try and help him and keep an eye on him and support him as they go forward, but definitely a bit chaotic as they move through these tests and floors. But I hope you enjoyed reading that along with me. You can click this place to go to my previous reactions, or you can subscribe to miss next time I post a Tower of God video, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.